Coding made easy.
So what's up everybody, and welcome to your next SDL 2.0 tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to be focusing on screen scrolling. So I've brought back the load texture method, so you can feel free to pause that and copy that, because we're going to be loading in a background texture. And the way the screen scrolling is going to work is we're going to have a SDL rect called camera rect that's going to draw our picture, crop out our background image, and then when we walk through the game world, it's going to scroll all the game. It's going to scroll the background game elements for us. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make an SDL rect and call it camera rect, and set the default values to 00640 by 480. So that's the screen width, 0 to screen width and screen height, as you can see right there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create an SDL texture, and let's call it texture, and we're going to say call our load texture method. I'm going to load my texture called rect.png, and put our render target. And once we create a texture, we should destroy it. So destroy texture and set it to null pointer. So once we've gotten that, what I'm going to do right now, let's get rid of this, is I'm going to say SDL render copy, and we're going to put in the render target, the texture, and we're going to put the camera rect in there, and then we're going to put null because we want to draw it, the destination, we want to draw this texture to the screen fully. And when we run this, as you can see, it's not drawing the whole rectangle shape. I'll show you the whole thing. So here's the whole thing right here, and as you can see right here, it's cropped out, and we should know how it works. So it's drawing, my image is 800 by 600 and this screen is 640 by 480, so you're not going to see the whole image. And so what we want to do is when we pass the halfway point on the x coordinate or the halfway point on the y coordinate, it's just to scroll accordingly. And this is how we're going to do it. So after our players update our position, what we're going to say is camera rect.x is equal to player 1, and we want to get the origin x, subtract 320. So 320 is the screen width divided by 2. So we want to say, okay, if the player whenever the player's origin x subtract the screen width divided by 2, and we're going to say y is equal to player 1 dot get origin y subtract 240, which is the screen height divided by 2. And so we're going to say, okay, if our camera rect.x is less than 0, we're going to set that to 0, and we're going to put another if, not an else if, and say if the y is less than 0, that we're going to set to 0. So why do we do ifs instead of an else if? Well, at the beginning, if you look at this, our camera rect and camera y are going to be less than 0. At the beginning, our origin x is set to 16. 16 minus 320 is equal to 304. And this one is set to 324 something, sorry, 324 whatever. But anyways, and it's going to be set to negative values, so negative 304, negative 224. And so we don't want that, because if, as you can see right here, we are cropping from this section right here. We're not cropping from a negative region. There's really no point in doing that. So you want to say if it's less than a certain value, then just reset it to 0, so we'll just crop the original thing. Now why do we do this? So when the center of our player in the x coordinate reaches past the center of the screen, then we want to say, okay, then our camera, say our player is set to 330. 330 subtract 320 is equal to 10. So now it's going to start cropping from the 10th pixel, and then the width of it is 640, so it's going to draw from pixel 10 to pixel 650. And so that's how we're going to get our scrolling effect. So if you see this, once we reach the center of the screen, as you can see, it scrolls. Now as you can see, once we reach the center, the player walks past the center and the image is stretching. The reason why the image is stretching is because we've gone past the actual width of the image, and so it's just trying to stretch it to accommodate for it. But we're going to get rid of all that right now. So first we're gonna fix one problem at a time. So now we're gonna fix it based on the player's position on the screen. The player shouldn't be able to sort of walk off the screen like that. And so what we're gonna do is, in our draw method, in our player's draw, we're gonna pass in the camera rect. So we're gonna say camera rect, and in the draw method we are going to say SDL rect camera rect. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create, this is probably not the best thing to do, continuously create a rectangle. It's probably better to create in the header file, but doesn't matter right now. And we're going to say, okay, we're going to say our position rect.x subtract camera rect.x, position rect.y subtract camera rect.y, and then the width and the height is going to remain the exact same. And we're going to replace the position rect with the drawing rect. So when we run this, we need to go to our main and pass in the camera rect. So when we run this and the player reaches past the midpoint on the screen, as you can see, it stays in the center, so it doesn't go walking off the screen like it did before. Now I'm going to explain to you, because I did that a little fast, how that's working. So we say, okay, our position rect x minus camera rect x is our position that we're going to be drawing with. So if you still need to update real game world elements, like you have something at position, say 1000 something, we're not modifying our actual position rect, we're just modifying what we're actually drawing our character, but the position in world coordinates is still going to remain the same. So that's what's important. But what we're doing here is we're saying, okay, position rect is minus the camera rect x, and same for the y. So what's going on? So let me take out my calculator right now, and we're saying, okay, when the origin x, which is position rect x plus 16, because our image is 32 by 32, so we're and our origin x is position rect x plus half of the image. So when we actually hit the center of the screen, our position rect.x is equal to 320 subtract 16, so that's going to be equal to 304. So that's our position right there. So let's just say our origin x is equal to 330, right? So what this camera rect x is going to be set to 10, right? And if our origin x is set to 330, that means our position rect is going to be set to 314. So what this is saying, it says, okay, draw position rect subtract the camera rect.x. So it's going to say draw it at 314 subtract 10, so draw it at 304. So no matter how far you go in the x or the y coordinate, it's going to draw the player at the center of the screen, which is what we want. We don't want to go past that, right? Or we're going to get the same effect as we got before. So now, as for the image stretching, we only want the player to go as far or as far as the width of the image, so we don't get that stretching effect. So we're gonna make a level width and a level height variable, and we're gonna say SDL query texture, and we're gonna pass in the texture format, and we're going to pass in the level width and the level height. So I'm just setting the level width and level height equal to the actual image's width and height, and but you can modify that to whatever you want. So now we're going to say, okay, if our camera rect.x plus our camera rect.width is greater than or equal to our level width, then we're just going to set our camera rect.x equal to level width subtract, we can say subtract our camera rect, doesn't really matter. Oh, I spelled camera rect wrong, camera rect, oh well, whatever. But we're going to say if it's equal to a level width subtract 640, and we're going to do another if statement, y plus camera rect dot height greater than or equal to level height. then we're going to set it equal to level height subtract 40. So what's going on right now? We're going to say, okay, if the x plus the width, so the width of our image is equal to 800. It's 800 pixels. So and the width of the screen is 640. So basically, if our x position plus the width, so x position plus 640, if it's greater than or equal to 800, then we want to reset the x so that it doesn't go past the boundary. So we're going to say our x is equal to our level width subtract 640, so that it's going to stop scrolling past this point. Same thing for the y coordinate. So let's run this. And as you can see, we're going to start scrolling, and once it reaches the level width, it stops scrolling. And then same thing for the y, it reaches its height, it stops scrolling. So then you get the stretching effect ends. And then it's up to you whatever you want to do. So you can add boundaries right here so the player can't go past or off the screen, or do whatever you want. But anyways, that's this tutorial on screen scrolling. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to like my page on Facebook, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like my and sign up on my forums. So that's it. Thanks, and bye for now.